why you can't help nobody, because you give them some good information to help prepare for their job interview, because you're behind the scenes and you know what it's like, you know what you're looking for. And here come the clowns. I can tell your employees talk about you behind your back. You should be glad she's giving you game, especially if you one of these unemployed people out here crying about EBT, trying to figure out how you're gonna pay your bills, and then you have people out here giving you the tea on what to look for during an interview.
Things I don't want to see in a job interview in under a minute. When I greet you, I'm expecting that you shake my hand, and I'm expecting that you know how to shake my hand. What is this? Don't do this. Give me a full handshake with eye contact and say, it's nice to meet you. I'm going to offer you something to drink. Do not ask for coffee with cream and sugar. I'm not a barista. I'm your interviewer. Just ask for water and say, please and thank you. When I walk you into the interview room, do not expect me to show you where you're going to sit. You're not a child. Just sit across from me. When you sit down at the interview table, do not put your hands in your lap or under the table. It makes you look untrustworthy and very nervous. Instead, always put your hands on the table. Throughout the job interview, you are going to be asking me questions and taking notes. Do not take notes on a phone or a laptop. It is too distracting. All you need is a padfolio with a pad of paper. At the end of the job interview, when they say, do you have any questions for me? You better have questions prepared and never, ever ask me, are there any reasons why you don't want to hire me? Because girl, I'm not going to be honest with you. Instead, I want you to tell me that you are actively interviewing and never come across as desperate, because I want what I can't have.
I know for a lot of younger people, this is gonna seem like a bit much. If you have not been in the job market, if you came up during this new Snowflake epidemic that we've been having, this is going to seem like a bit much for you.
I'm literally about to quit. I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I really want to. I almost walked out today and I'm crying in the back room right now, and I almost cried on the floor. It's just, I'm like a full-time student. I get scheduled for 25 hours a week, and then on weekends they schedule me the entire day, open to close. I'm on the schedule for 8.5 hours, both Saturday and Sunday. I'm 3.5 hours into my shift. There's so many customers, and we have 4 people on the floor all day. Only 5 people were put on the schedule, and somebody had to call out, and there are 4 people running the whole store, and there's so many customers, and there's possibly scheduled 5 people. We only have 13 people employed at this store, and there's so many customers, and people are yelling at me because they don't have their orders ready, and they don't know what to do. I can't do it.
Now, I grew up right before all that, okay? I was working before this Snowflake epidemic, and I'm here to tell you, pretty much everything she said here was facts. We're gonna go through the comment section, because the comment section is wilding out, probably a bunch of Gen Zers, a bunch of people who, like I said, got into the job market after the sensitivity Snowflake epidemic came forth. Let's go point for point.
When I greet you, I'm expecting that you shake my hand, and I'm expecting that you know how to shake my hand. What is this?
I agree. You have to have a good, solid handshake. This is something we're supposed to learn before we even leave middle school, hell, elementary school. You should know how to give a nice, firm handshake. It exudes confidence. It lets the person know that you came for business. You want to put your best foot forward in an interview. Society has this big, take me as I am, I shouldn't have to. No, you're competing for that job, especially in this job market where people are struggling to find work. You have to have a strong, solid handshake, and it's not that difficult. I don't think this is a big ask. Should that be the determining factor entirely? No, you're building up. As you go through the interview process, all of these things are coming together to let the interviewer know if you're going to be a good fit or not. So having that confidence behind your handshake is key.
Give me a full handshake with eye contact and say, it's nice to meet you. I'm going to offer you something to drink. Do not ask for coffee with cream and sugar. I'm not a barista. I'm your interviewer. Just ask for water and say, please and thank you.
I agree. Just ask for water if they're going to offer you something to drink. But I will say, if you offer me coffee, okay, if you offer me coffee, I don't think it's much for me to ask for cream and sugar. Not everybody is drinking their coffee black. Okay, most people want more cream than coffee. Don't offer me coffee if you're not willing to give me coffee. But if they just give you a blanket, oh, can I get you something? Water should suffice. You're not trying to hang out with this girl. And then also, I agree. If I'm trying to interview interview you. I'm not trying to be back there making you an entire latte. I'm not a barista, but maybe you should tailor your question to, would you like some water?
I walk you into the interview room. Do not expect me to show you where you're going to sit. You're not a child. Just sit across from me.
I understand asking just in case, especially if you're ahead of the interviewer. So if I'm ahead of you and you tell me, hey, go in this room, I might just stand there to see, because you might have a specific seat. Last thing I want to do is sit in your seat. If you're going to be the interviewer, then you need to make sure you're leading. I don't think that there's an issue with asking, where do you want me to sit? Just so that I'm not impeding upon your space, especially if I'm entering the room before you, because that might be your chair. And if I sit in your chair, that might piss you off, meaning I won't get the job. As long as you politely ask, okay, where would you like me to sit? Unless it's something very obvious, you know what I mean? Like a full-blown desk and then a chair across, obviously you know where the hell to sit. Okay, you don't need to ask. But if it's something where, you know, both seats relatively look the same, then it's okay to ask politely.
Do not put your hands in your lap or under the table. It makes you look untrustworthy and very nervous.
When you're sitting there like this, you just look like a kid waiting to get reprimanded at the principal's office. Having your hands on the desk, it shows that confidence. It shows that, I wouldn't say untrustworthy, just more so that confidence. You want to be confident, because how am I going to be confident that you can do the job when you're not even confident showing up to the interview? You have to put your best foot forward, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Throughout the job interview, you are going to be asking me questions and taking notes. Do not take notes on a phone or a laptop. It is too distracting. All you need is a Padfolio with a pad of paper.
If I see you doing this, you know exactly what I think you're doing. I think you're texting. Maybe you're on TikTok. Maybe you're on Instagram. I don't know if you're taking notes if you're doing this. Same with a laptop. You could be hub for all I know. If you're going to take notes, have a pad of paper that you're going to write on. That way we're all sure what's going on here. No one feels disrespected, because I can imagine if I'm sitting across from you and you're doing like this on your phone, and you're like, oh, I'm just taking notes. I'm going to be like, are you taking notes? And I'm not going to try to impede on your privacy and be like, well, show me. It's just going to be like, I don't know if I want to work with this person. It's inherently disrespectful. And not only that, you could be playing Candy Crush or it could be just rude. You're texting your ex-boyfriend crashing out because XYZ. I don't want to even be questioning that. If you're going up to your interview on your phone, you've already fucked up. Bring a piece of paper, write down your questions, thoughts, things like that. It's more professional. I feel like a lot of these younger generations, they just completely threw professionalism out the window. They don't give a damn. They want to be able to just come however the hell they rolled out of bed, just come up, come to work, get a paycheck. And it's like, no, you have to be professional. You have to put your best foot forward. You don't just get it just because you showed up. Do not be on your damn phone.
When they say, do you have any questions for me? You better have questions prepared and never, ever ask me, are there any reasons why you don't want to hire me? Because girl, I'm not going to be honest with you. Instead, I want you to tell me that you are actively interviewing and never come across as desperate, because I want what I can't have.
If you don't have any questions, that shows you're not really that interested. And these jobs, they want to know that you are interested in the job, that you want to succeed there, that you want to be there, because the last thing you want is hire a bunch of lazy workers that are just going to take resources and offer very little for the company. Have some questions prepared. And I agree, that's awkward as hell. Why wouldn't you hire me? I would lie to your ass too, because last thing I want is you crashing out at me because I told you the truth. Maybe I'll send you some cliff notes of why I didn't hire you, but most of the time companies don't do that because they don't want people coming back enraged. Well, no, that's awkward. Okay, you have very little social skills. You need to practice that if you're going into the interview and then at the end asking them, why wouldn't you hire me? Is there anything that you're saying? Don't ask that. It does come across as very desperate and very unhinged. Best thing to do is research the company, research the role, and then ask questions about that. Have at least five to 10 questions that you have pre-written. And you can have it on that piece of paper that you bring in. You know, that pad of paper she's talking about, have those questions there. That way, if the question was not answered, and this is something you can do while you're in the interview, if she answers a question, cross it off. That way you don't ask something she's already covered, because that's going to show you're not actively listening. Cross it off if she's covered it. Have an excess of questions just in case. And if something comes to mind, write it down so that when when you get to the end of the interview, you have something you can ask that shows you are actively listening, that you're interested in the job. I do want to get to the comment section because the comment section is insane, y'all. It's insane. They were wilding in the comment section. Just, they are clowning her. How about you calm the down? I'm telling you, this is that generation of folks that they just want you to take them as they are. They don't want you to be critical of them at all. They just want you to give them the job and keep it moving. Have no expectations. This is what happens when you push for participation trophies. Nobody feels like they have to maintain a standard. It's just accept me as I am. Things I don't want to see in a job interview. They have a picture of her face here. That's funny. All that for $18 an hour. I like this comment because I agree, that is a hot mess. I don't care what job you're working. I don't care if it's low skilled, high skilled. You deserve a livable wage. And now you have some people be like, well, I don't think that someone bagging my groceries should get. No, you're working a job 40 hours a week, full time. You should be able to cover your bills. That doesn't mean you have to live a luxury life. I'm not saying that the person bagging groceries needs a $1.5 million house. No, but it should be a livable wage. $18 an hour, I think in this economy is cutting it close, which is crazy because the minimum wage in a lot of states is a fraction of that, $7.50. I understand that sentiment. That's why I liked it. Yeah, it is a lot of work, but you have to do what you have to do. How do I quit in advance? They don't understand. You have to compete for these jobs. And then they wonder why they can't get a job. They can't get hired nowhere. Can I breathe during the interview or is that bad too? I don't think the things she said in this interview were terrible. She didn't say anything about like, make sure you don't adjust your glasses because when you adjust your glasses, that makes you look like, she didn't say anything crazy like that. Everything she said here is something that you should be capable of doing. And if you're not capable of doing that, you probably need to be in assisted living. Nothing she said here was crazy out of control. I can tell your employees talk behind your back. She's giving you the game. This is why you can't help nobody, because you give them some good information to help prepare for their job interview because you're behind the scenes and you know what it's like. You know what you're looking for. And here come the clowns. I can tell your employees talk about you behind your back. You should be glad she's giving you game, especially if you one of these unemployed people out here crying about EBT, trying to figure out how you're gonna pay your bills, and then you have people out here giving you the tea on what to look for during an interview or what they're looking for during an interview. As much as I want to rail against these companies for being so shisty and greedy, that is true. But also when I look at the workforce, I'm like, I wouldn't want to hire your ass either. I wouldn't want to hire your lazy ass either. Because like I said, she's giving you the game and this is the response to it. Just a bunch of nonsense. It's ridiculous how complicated we've made our own lives. I don't think she's asking for too much. You tell people to pull their pants up and they think you're asking them to move a mountain. You tell people not to type on their phone while you're doing an interview, you're asking them to move mountains. It's not that deep. What she asked here was pretty standard, okay? Pretty standard, if you ask me. Aren't you just a ray of sunshine? Yes, she is, because guess what? Somebody that's trying to get a job, they watch this, they practice for their interview, they get the job. Guess what? Now they could pay their bills. I believe that constitutes as a ray of sunshine for a lot of people, especially in this economy. This is just a lot of entitled behavior in the comment section. I'm gonna be so honest. I already hate working here. The jokes are funny. Don't get me wrong. The jokes are funny. They just don't really apply here. You don't like her personality because she's being very direct. A lot of these younger people, they don't like direct communication. That's why they can't look you in the eye. Okay, that's why they're always like, and they want to text everything. People now, they do not like direct conversations. She's putting y'all on game. It makes you look nervous. I am. Yeah, but she's giving you the tea on how to hide it. She's giving you the tea on how to hide the fact that you're nervous. It's okay that you're nervous, but don't show it. And she's giving you one of those visual cues that she's seeing that tells you're nervous. It's unfortunate. She needs to realize this is a job interview, not a police interrogation. It's a job interview. You're competing. Do you not realize that you are competing for a job? There are other applicants. They're trying to choose the best. So yeah, it's not a police interrogation, but it's a competition. These people do not want to compete. They want to be able to just show up and get what they want. Entitlement. And this is what this whole comment section is just really speaking to. Entitlement. You feel entitled to that job and you're not. They're gonna hire whoever's best. You should be thanking her for her tips because she's trying to put you on game so that you nail your next interview. This is why you can't help folks. You can't help folks because the moment you do, this is how they respond. They respond with hate, vitriol. That's why you have to have the mentality of help your damn self. So I'm glad that she has this video out there for the people who want to help their damn selves, because all the other people in the comment section, they are just gonna be a bunch of haters. At the end of the day, she's doing a service to the people that want to get a job, to the people that want to compete. But y'all, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about her whole spiel about job interviews? Do you think she's doing too much? Or do you believe like me where it's a competition, so I'm grateful that she's put me on game? I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like this content, like the content. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed out into the algorithm. Also, hype the video if that feature is available. If not, just like the video, share it, comment, all that stuff. And then finally, if you're feeling a little bit extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank you guys so much. I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.